Nice to be here in Placerville. I never thought as a 12-year-old practicing the guitar in my bedroom that I'd be able to say for a third time, good evening, Placerville, California. Thanks for coming out on Father's Day. And I've been doing quite a lot since last I was here. I've been writing music. I write music for film and TV as well as sessioning in London. But I've also written a whole bunch of stuff on this beast of a guitar. I thought I might start with it this evening. There's no pickups tonight. I'm just using a microphone, so it's going to be a little quieter but more natural than usual. Yeah, let's just get out the big hose and off we go. All right. So this is a brand new one. This will be its Placerville, California world premiere. As the crowd broke into a wild yawn. Yeah, so this is a new one which I hope you'll enjoy, of course. It's called Whoa Boy. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, thank you very much indeed. Thank you. Very kind. Nothing like starting the concert with a chirpy little number. So on my film travels, I was introduced to one of your singer-songwriters. This is a fellow that's sadly no longer with us, but his name is Elliot Smith. And I think that's pretty groovy stuff. It's the acoustic stuff of his is kind of quiet and somewhat introverted, and I like a bit of that. So I thought I'd listen to a whole bunch of his stuff, and then at about 2:30 in the morning, I got a case of the earworm, where there was a melody rattling around in my skull, and it was something I was writing. I had to sing it into the phone, you know, the voice memo thing. So I woke up, you know the rest, Clive, stop, back to sleep. And then the next morning I pressed play, and I thought, oh, jeepers, that's not too bad. I could do something with that on the guitar. And so this is what happened. Another brand new one for you, but it is very quiet and dry and introverted sounding and everything. So this is a duet for guitar and fan replacement for air conditioning. Nevertheless, I hope you enjoy it. This is a new one. This is The Outsider. Oh, thank you very much indeed. All right, thank you. So I started this tour this year in the last week of February, and my wife is a musician as well. We have the whole family on the road right now. She plays the harp, the kind of Celtic lever harp looking thing, and throughout the whole of March we toured from Washington DC up to Maine. However, she was the artist and I was the roadie. And I'd never been in that position before. And I didn't realize, apart from the green room here in Placerville, how differently you get treated when you're not the artist. It's like, you don't drink that and don't walk there, and, you know, it was a real eye-opener. But at the end of March there, I was just about to head over to the UK when I received an email from a mother. And it was the mother of a son whom I'd used to teach guitar in St John's Wood, which is in kind of central London, just around the corner from the legendary Abbey Road recording studio there. And she was telling me about what he'd been up to. And essentially, he suffered from the old ADHD thing, so he couldn't concentrate for too long, which didn't go down too well when he was studying microbionic engineering or something. So he had disappeared down to South Africa and he worked on a reserve for a little while. But he was struggling to find happiness, and also came out of rehabilitation centres quite a lot. However, he did finally find friendship and happiness in the British Army. But his mother was writing to tell me that at age 31 he died in the Ukraine. So that was terribly tragic to read. You know, two things that kept him going in life were rugby and guitar playing. So, you know, it was a real honour and a privilege to be part of the happy side of his life. And that music helped him through some tough times. However, after the funeral in London, I was talking to the priest over in the graveyard, and there was mention of the dates on headstones. So if you see a name, then your eyes are automatically drawn to the numbers, aren't they? So then you see something like, you know, 1992 to 1997, and you think how tragic that was to die so young, and you know, you think about the life they missed out on. Or if you see another set of dates that says like 1874 to 1975, you think, you know, 101, not bad in this day and age. You know, you hope they had a good innings and that they found happiness along the way. So ultimately, we came to the conclusion, you know, despite the brevity of life or a nice substantial life, is that the most important part on a headstone is not necessarily the numbers, but perhaps, you know, where the living really is the dash between the digits. So that's where the living is, and that's what this piece is about, which I hope you'll enjoy. It's another new one, which I call The Dash of Living. Thank you. Thank you. Wow. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you. So this is a regular guitar, and it's going to sound very small after that beast. This is normal. That isn't normal. So anyway, how are you doing? You all right? You still with me? Yeah. Good stuff. Well, I thought I might carry on by rocking the joint with some 13th century English dance music for you now. So this is a piece that was found on the flyleaf of a psalter in Old Coventry Cathedral. It's now preserved at the Bodleian Library in Oxford. It's called The English Dance, which suggests to me that it's not English at all. resist. All right. Thank you. Well, thank you very much indeed. Thank you. Yeah, that was another piece of mine. I call it the Lincolnshire Ramble. And I wrote it after a passion project. You know, some people like to swim across channels or attach parachutes and jump out of aeroplanes or do something really rock and roll like collect stamps. Me personally, I just wanted to circular walk the entire coastline of Great Britain as a project. It's a 4,500 mile walk. I'm up to 1,400 miles right now. I'm doing it in stages, and it's, you know, it's quite addictive when you're out there. Yeah, there's only two phrases I can think of to describe the people specifically from the coastline of Lincolnshire on the east side of England. One is mildly unhinged, and the other is feral, right? These people live in a completely different world. Yeah, and then I came back from that, a large part of that walk. And jumped straight into a recording studio and recorded an album I presented quite a lot of music from the last time I was here. The double album featured celebrating the music of the iconic guitar legend and musical innovator John Renbourn. You know, if you might recognise that name. Yeah, it was great fun to make that project. However, I did receive an email midway through that double album, through the recording processes, and it was a rather random one. And it was from like a Hollywood music director or something, you know, and I'm used to receiving messages from my London agency for session work on films. So this is a pretty bizarre one. And they wanted me to teach and play the banjo on a film. And I thought, well, I'm doing this John Renbourn project. I'm just about to go down the road and record Jackie McShee, the singer from Pentangle, and Stefan Grossman and the great Whiz Jones. And I've got a band waiting for me. I really haven't got a lot of time right now to be teaching the banjo and playing the banjo on the film. However, my wife read the email and she knew exactly what the film was going to be and who the banjo player was going to be. And it turned out to be the latest Bob Dylan film, A Complete Unknown, starring Timothée Chalamet. And so I ended up playing the Pete Seeger banjo parts on that film, A Complete Unknown, which is kind of cool, you know. There's been a lot of name-dropping in this concert all of a sudden, isn't there? Yeah. If there's one thing both Eric Clapton and Mark Knopfler told me, that's that it's never a good idea to name-drop. Anyway, it was fun getting into the right-hand picking style specifically of Pete Seeger. You know, you can tell he had a few nylon string guitar lessons, but he was also into that clawhammer banjo thing. And lesson number one in the world of clawhammer is to imagine you're holding a credit card with your right hand. So that's the hand position, right? So you pick the upper drone notes with the thumb, and the middle fingernail creates the groove as well as the thumb, and the melody comes out with the up picking and down picking of the middle finger. However, you saw a lot of Pete Seeger's early technique, you know, because he was a brilliant banjo player earlier on. He wasn't, you know, later on he was strumming This Land Is Your Land, but earlier on he wrote full suites for solo banjo. You know, he was really into it. You know. So after, you know, the best way to learn a technique is to teach it. And so I wanted to get it right for the film, and off the back of all that, I wrote a piece for solo guitar using the same technique, right? So, yeah, this is it, another new one, which I call the Dutchman's Pipe. Thank you. All right. Oh, thank you very much indeed. And next up is yet another new one. Jeepers, you're doing all right hearing all these new pieces. Pieces for the first time ever. This definitely isn't the Beatles tribute night act. Well, this is, I guess, like, the central piece of this early concert. It's kind of slow. It's developed. Probably, rather than me explain what's happening behind the scenes here, you'd probably rather have root canal surgery. So I'll leave the music to do the talking. The piece is called A Mother's Song. I wrote it in 3 countries. Started it in Austria. The middle part was written near Cambridge in England, and the last part was written in East Tennessee. All right then. This is a long one. You'll be right. There is an end. All right, but I don't know how long it is, but I'm guessing like 7 or 8 minutes or something. Okay, all right. Please enjoy another Placerville world premiere. This is A Mother's Song. Chin chin, thank you. Nice bit of light listening on a Sunday. All right. Cheers, everyone. Clear Guinness. Yeah. Very kind, thank you. That was a piece called Buffalo, written by one of your fellow Americans. His name was Kenny Dorham. And now for something completely different. This next number I've resurrected from one of my old records. It's just quite fun to play right now. And it came about after watching the television around New Year's Eve time. And I couldn't help but notice there was a severe dose of Viennese waltzes going on quite a few TV channels. And I've since learnt that that is a thing in the USA as well. Around about New Year, you have waltzes from Vienna on your telly, right? Whether you knew they were there or not. And the interesting thing that struck me about these Viennese waltzes was the displacement of the beats. So you know a waltz has 3 beats to the bar, right? Yeah. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Well, in this world, I couldn't help but notice that beat 2 is brought forward ever so slightly and beat 3 is dragged. So instead of this clean cut, it turns into... And why is that? He asked the knowledgeable crowd of the Placerville Massive. Well, I thought it might have something to do with, well, perhaps the dance steps, maybe even the size of the lady's dress. So if she has a tightly fitting dress, then we're thinking clean cut 3. But if she has a slightly larger ball gown, it takes more time for the material to arrive on beat 3. Go on, love. You know, and if it's a great big wedding dress, you're like... Anyway, so I couldn't help but notice that vibe in the Viennese waltzes specifically. At the same time, I was listening to the waltz from the Jazz Suite by the Russian composer Dmitri Shostakovich, which you might know. You know that one? Did a Romany band from Romania ever come to Placerville called the Tarif de Haidush? As Becca says, we had them here last week, you know. Well, they're brilliant, and I've never seen them live, but I've certainly seen them on YouTube. The Tarif de Haidush, their approach is fantastic, you know, which is that it doesn't matter if it's a deathly slow air or an upbeat pandemonium bunch of tunes. They play them all as if they were the last pieces they were ever going to perform on Earth, if it was their last gig ever. And I love that approach, you know, just giving it their all. So that's how this new piece of mine came about. I call it the Prince's Waltz. And it's kind of like Dmitri Shostakovich from Russia meets the Tarif de Haidush from Romania in Vienna. There we go. Thank you, thank you. Thank you very much indeed. Let's bring up the other guitar. Well, I've got about 9 hours worth of music under my fingers right now, so we could have a lock-in if you like. But I have no idea what the time is. I thought I might maybe play a couple more for you. How does that sound? Is that all right? Yeah, yeah. Right. It's always important to be in tune. Perfect. All right. Here we go. Cool. Well, jeepers. It's a nice little gathering here on a Sunday early evening, isn't it? And thank you very much for coming along. And is there anything you'd like to ask before we won't see each other again for at least another couple of years? So tonight's the night. Yeah, I can tell you about that, sure. So this beast is I call it a hybrid baritone guitar. So a regular guitar, and standard tuning is E here, right? And a baritone guitar's lowest note is A, and this is C. So it's halfway down between regular pitch and a full baritone. It's got a longer scale length. It was made by a fella called Rob Armstrong. It's the only one in the world. It's not a model. There's only one, and one design. It's pretty shallow, but it's a huge body. And it was owned by a fella whose name might not be so familiar to people in the United States. His name is Gordon Giltrap. And he was like a 70s, 80s prog rocker. He was a huge star in the UK. He was on the telly and everything, and he played multi-thousand-seater venues and had a kind of an acoustic hit called Heart Song. And you can see there with the sound hole that there used to be two tortoiseshell kind of pieces here to create a heart, and that hit was played on this guitar. However, I toured with him and a guy called John Etheridge from the band Soft Machine in the UK, and sometimes when we were in the Birmingham area in the centre of England, we'd stay at Gordon Giltrap's house. And this was on the stand in the dining room, and every time I went into his house, I bolted straight for this guitar. I just had to play it because it's such a one-off, just, as they say in America, it just ain't right, so, it shouldn't hold itself together, but the last concert of that tour happened to be my 40th birthday, and he brought it along to the concert and he gave it to me as a present for my birthday. So that's how I'm in the possession of this quite famous guitar, and I was terrified about bringing it across the pond, but a lot of my new material was written with this guitar in mind. I'm recording it all in August, and it's going to be released in February next year. And then I'm going to tour it for 2 years, solidly, yeah. And who knows what might happen after that, yeah. Yeah, I thought about retiring after that, actually, yeah. But if you're interested in that record, I can put a piece of paper down, you give me your email address, and I will write to you and tell you when it's being released. And if you're up for a copy, you're more than welcome. But I'm giving you a lot more information than the original question. Yeah, but it's a great thing, isn't it? Especially just with microphone only, Yeah. Jeepers, it's hot here, isn't it? I've been in Santa Barbara. It's like 65 and everything. Yeah. Out there looking at pelicans. After this, I'm staying in San Francisco tonight, heading up to Eugene and Portland and Seattle, then all the way across, playing shows to Grand Rapids, and then down to Nashville and across to North Carolina. A quick trip to Montana, and I'm playing with. I can't wait to play with Tommy Emmanuel again, an old friend of mine, in Austin, in Texas, at the end of August. We're holding a 4-day guitar course down there in Austin, if you'd like to come along. The other guests are a fellow called Eric Johnson and Jimmy Vaughan, the big brother of Stevie Ray Vaughan. It should be a great little 4-day event. But I just love the roads here. Man, I was driving through Missouri and Kansas State and pumped in the next destination, and the GPS said, after 693 miles, bear left. You might as well put it in cruise control and pick up a good book. Just look up from time to time. It's just a straight line, isn't it? Yeah, just love it. Well, many thanks indeed for coming out. I hope you had a great time with all the new music and a few other bits to give you hope. Thank you. I'm going to finish off with some Celtic doom and gloom for you to close out the show. The first song is called I've Suffered for My Art, Now It's Your Turn. And then I'll work into an Irish battle march called Did I Shave My Legs for This? And then I'll close with a Tommy Peoples reel called Bunker Hill. All right, here we go. everybody. Thank you.